Capital Hoops. Today I am joined with the Aiken family. We got Coach Mike and Mark. Guys, I know you guys brought home some hardware in the last, was it today or yesterday that it was named, that you guys were named Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, and First Teamer?
Just came out today. Yep.
Today? Well,
yes, sir.
Congratulations. That's big time to have three people under the same roof bring home hardware like that. Says a lot about your team and a lot about your family. Mike, talk to me first about, your boys bringing home the hardware and you bringing home a piece for yourself.
So, just want to thank you and Capital Hoops for doing the interview and the games you made out to us this year. We greatly appreciate you all. What a sincere, humbling, offer and acknowledgement of the accomplishments we did this year. We are sincerely humbled to be acknowledged for myself, Coach of the Year, Mike, Player of the Year, First Team, and Mark, First Team. A lot of hard work and sweat that we put in this year, and it's a tremendous attribute for us to be recognized in that form for all the hard work that we put in.
Mike, what were your initial thoughts when you were named Player of the Year?
When I first found out I was Player of the Year, I was kind of excited because, since freshman year, that was one of my main goals. My first goal was win a championship, but it was also be recognized as Player of the Year in my conference. So I basically been just working my butt off each and every year just to get to this milestone, and for it to finally come true today in the email, it was also in tears.
And Mark, to be first team along with your brother and your father, just to cap off the three of you, talk about your honor today.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing Michael says. First team was always an accomplishment for me, a goal for mine. So for me to accomplish it today was a dream come true.
Now I got a few questions for you guys, but the first one I want to ask is, Mark, what's it going to take for you to win Player of the Year next year?
I got to outwork Mike. That's the job.
Let me ask you guys this. I'm sure you feel like the Charter League is overlooked, right? Either you use it as motivation, as chalkboard talk, or you truly feel that way. But I'm sure there's some of both. Talk to me about that.
You want me to answer that, Mark?
And any of you guys, I'm sure you have similar opinions on it, right?
Yeah, I'll go first. Nigga, chime in. It's really heartbreaking that we hear it all the time. The Charter League, it's not that good of a league. If you go back and look at our particular schedule, you can see that we schedule, private, top public, whatever we could to try to get our name out there and prove that we can compete.
Right.
We might not have the 6'8" or the 6'9" that everybody else have that's in the private and the not so-called, but the top public schools. But, I'm gonna get a 6'3" kid, and some kids are gonna work hard and they're gonna buy into the system. We're gonna compete. We may not win the game, but at the end of the day, you're gonna know that you were in a game, win or lose, and that's all that we try to do this year is to toughen our schedule up, and we're gonna do the same thing next year. We're gonna try to exceed and make it a lot more tougher than it did this year because we have kids in the Charter League that can compete on the top public, private school level, and us as coaches in the Charter League, we have to schedule these games so we can showcase that our kids can compete on that level. And luckily, I had some good friends that gave me an opportunity to play them,
right?
Where they didn't have to because we're so-called a Charter League. So it's all about relationships and building relationships. So luckily, I had some good friends that know of Mike and Mark, know of myself, and say, hey, I'm going to give you a game. And, it helped us out this year because we played a tough schedule, and we didn't win every game that we wanted to. But if you go back and look at our schedule with Rock Creek, whoever, we fought to the end, win or lose. And that's all that we want to do, just get some recognition to the charter league.
Talk to me about your schedule for next year. How does that come about? I'm sure you've started in some capacity trying to figure out the best teams you can play, but take me kind of through that process in trying to build out a schedule that will get you guys seen and hopefully get you guys more recognition.
So the schedule is real tricky. You got to be real careful with the scheduling. My assistant Damian Bryan does a great job. He does all our scheduling. We consult about it. We're real strategic of who we want to play, when we want to play. Because at the end of the day, we still want to be in a position to make states. So at the same time, we want to schedule tough games. We want to schedule tough games that are winnable games, or that we can showcase our kids' talent to either put us in a good position to win, or if we lose, we'll still get the points to make, the state. So, we strategically plan on the scheduling, and we sit down and we talk about it, and make sense of who we want to play and why should we play them. So the goal is to play. To get the recognition, you gotta play some good private schools. You gotta play some good public schools. There's no way around it. If you want to get your kids recognized or get a name for your school and try to build off that, you gotta play what's considered the best of the best. So we just looking for opportunities to play great teams that will give us an opportunity to try to do just that.
So just to clarify, I want to make sure I fully understand. The DC State playoffs, everyone does not make a spot. So if you were to schedule if every single one of your non-conference games was the top 15 teams in the DMV, and you went 1-14 in those games, you would probably not make the playoffs. So you have to be strategic in choosing difficult games, but also games that are winnable. So it's kind of a combination of both. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
You're right on, dead on. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Talk to me about Corona. What are you guys doing? Mark, I know you mentioned a minute ago about you guys are trying to work out in the house, or you alluded to it a minute ago, but tell me what you guys are doing to stay sharp and stay in shape and stay mentally ready in these really kind of difficult, trying times.
We're doing a lot of, push-ups, jump roping, running around the neighborhood, things to stay in shape, because, we can't get in the gym, so we have to do other things like exercising to stay in shape, things like that.
You guys doing anything with the ball? Can you get shots up, or you doing ball handling or anything like that?
Yeah, I can go outside and dribble, but I can't go to no court, so I just go outside and dribble.
And Mike, what kind of communication do you have with your team during this time?
We got a group chat, so we talk every day. Most of the time it's about school. Did you do such and such class? Did you do the work? Or hop on the game, stuff like that. Basic conversations. We talk every day.
I'm sure with AAU not looking great right now, how eager are you guys to get back in the gym? I know with all the uncertainty, it's difficult to figure out when your next game is going to be, when the next time you'll be with your teammates is going to be. But how you dealing with the fact that AAU is very up in the air right now?
It's very upsetting. I think this year was very big for me and Mark. We was very excited to get on that court and play on the circuit and hopefully pick up some scholarships and stuff. So it's kind of heartbreaking, but we understand the circumstance of COVID-19, so we kind of gotta respect it and respect people's health and think bigger than basketball.
And Mike, I gotta ask you one more question. I want you to tell me how you went from AAU coach to high school coach. Our friend Joe McNair told me I need to ask you that question.
So my man Joe back 80. So I was in Vegas. Me and Joe has always been mutual friends with our kids growing up with basketball at AAU, and both of us was in Vegas. Didn't see each other none of the time we was in the hotel in the airport coming back to DC, and bumped into each other waiting for our flights. And Joe was like, I know you've been doing some AAU coaching. Have you ever considered coaching on a high school level? I was like, I would definitely be interested in coaching on a high school level. So he said it's an opportunity for you at Phelps High School. I'm gonna introduce you to the coach. He's looking for assistant coach. So when we get back, I'm gonna connect the two of you guys. And got back, he hooked me up with Keith Jackson, and started coaching at Phelps High School. That's how my high school career started.
And how long were you at Phelps?
I was at Phelps for 4 years, and I stand to be corrected. I started at Oxon Hill first. I was at Oxon Hill when me and Joe met at the airport, and it was a heck of a commute to travel from DC to Oxon Hill. He said, "Would you ever consider coaching in DC?" So that's how I ended up coaching at Phelps, because it was a lesser commute from me traveling from DC to Oxon Hill. So I started at Oxon Hill. I did Oxon Hill 1 year with Coach Wilson, and left there after the first year and coached with Coach Jackson at Phelps for 4 years.
All right. Let me ask you guys one more question before we get out of here. Give me your either the top game you played this year or the top memory that you guys had this year during your season.
Top games.
Or top memory.
Tech Prep, easily. We won the championship that game, so that's my favorite memory. Yeah.
Mike, what was the best game you had this year? If you went back and watched the tape on every game you played, which is the one where you'd be like, that was the game when I went off?
Roosevelt for sure.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
We got tape of that game. Is that the one we were at?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually watching that the other day.
Yeah, that was a good game. I think Mike ended up with 40 and Mark had 30. 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, we put up some good numbers.
And Coach Mike, what was your best memory of the year?
Honestly, our very first showcase game against Rock Creek. We didn't win the game, but if we was in Vegas, I mean, the odds would have been crazy because nobody in hell gave us a shot to win that game. I think we ended up losing by 3 with a last second shot that we didn't hit. So I think that's set the standard to my team that we can compete with anybody. So even though we didn't win the game, we were in it. The crowd was behind us. It was a great game. Nobody gave us a shot. And just for the fact that we can compete it, I think it's the standards moving into the year to say, hey, if we can play with Rock Creek, then we can play with anybody.
Right. All right. Well, good catching up with you guys. Stay safe. I appreciate you joining me for a minute, and congratulations. I know next year there's more hardware out on the table, and maybe Mark can give Mike a run for the money for Player of the Year next year.
For sure.
All right. Well, thank you guys again. Stay safe, and I'll see you down the road.
Thank you. Appreciate you.